Hey dudes, welcome back to Dead Bodies Inc. Paddy RC with you here. What have we got here? An ordinary looking Lipo bag, you might say. Well, to those in the know, they will know that I've been designing my own liner system for these bags. The bags are off the shelf. I'm sure we've all seen these type of bags before. Now you might question, what's the issue with the bags then? For anyone who knows the know, you'll know that these bags on their own aren't capable of stopping a lipo fire on their own. They'll dampen the fire down, but they won't fully stop the fire. They're just basically to buy you more time. However, the amount of time that they can buy you is kind of, is it even worth having them? So, I mean, don't get me wrong, the stuff on the outside is fire retardant material. Is it sufficient? No, not really. So, we've designed our own liner system. Now these are a two, or in some places a 3-ply lining system. They're sewn in at the top. These are professionally sewn, so you've no chance of it ripping. Now this material inside here is self-extinguishing. The material inside the liner itself, so between this blue fabric here and the outer fabric is yet another liner, and that is rated to almost 2000 degrees. So we're going to have a quick test today and we're going to see how these go, and if all goes well, you'll be wanting to order one, I'm assuming. I'm not quite sure how much to charge for them yet, to be honest with you. This material in here is not cheap, I'll tell you that. It is not cheap, and the lining material inside there is even more expensive. But I mean, there's enough space in there to charge and store a number of batteries. So we're going to do a quick test today of a few old batteries. Going to chuck one in, short it, and then I'm going to put just an old puffed 3S lipo in there as well, 3S lipo, as well as the one that we're testing, just to try and get an accurate measurement. So we're trying to recreate basically the same situation that you might find yourself in at home. You might ask yourself, why am I not stabbing the battery? A few obvious reasons. Obviously, once this is sealed up, I won't be able to stab a hole in the bag itself to get through to the battery. And secondly, when you're charging a battery, the worst type of lipo fire is a thermal runaway. Without a shadow of a doubt, is always a thermal runaway. What that means is, when you're charging, say a 2S, a 3S battery, 6S, whatever, the chargers, especially cheap chargers, a lot of you will know to your own cost, a lot of the fake iMax range that were going around, they weren't shutting off. The same problem that Samsung had with a lot of their batteries when they first brought out lipos in their phones. They'll charge and they'll get to full. As we all know, 4.2 volts per cell is fully charged. However, if the charger does not shut off, what you will find is that you get a thermal runaway, which basically, once it gets to a certain point in temperature, it will just carry on building in heat, carry on until basically it puffs up like a pillow. And the only point of escape is usually at the corners, on the seams, on the far edge, away from the connecting poles, electrodes, is it'll split out in a corner, and that's where you get a jet of flame out that can be very violent and very, very hot. It's almost like putting your hand in front of a blowtorch, if you will. It's dangerous. They can burn holes, and that's the type of fire that you really don't want. Let's fully charge that. I know it's only a 2S, but we have got a little friend for him to party with, which is a little 3S. This is already started to puff. I have charged this up a little bit, but obviously I'm quite anxious charging this because, as you can see, this has been something that's been kicking around outside the back of my property for about a year now. But it has got some charging there. What I'm trying to replicate, as I just said, is a lipo fire where you might be charging and you've got obviously other batteries in the charging sack as well that might also ignite. As we said before, we won't be doing a puncture test, because a puncture test will release the pressure from the cell straight away and create more of a campfire sort of effect. Large open flame, flickering flame. We want a puff and then a split on the end of the corner here, and eventually a jet of flame will burst out. This will be left as is. Obviously it's been naked and stripped back of its cellophane, so it ignites quite easily. This will also be left as it is, but it will be shorted out in the bag, and what you get is a build of pressure in the end. It'll pop the case and then it'll go either kaboom or it'll split on the corners here, and you'll get a jet of flame. So either way will be a good test, because it's a perfect replication of the events that would happen in a thermal runaway if you're charging in your house or whatever. So anyway, let's get to it, guys. Okay, so we've got our batteries all set up. What we're going to do is we're going to close this bag now, and we're going to pinch the bag, and hopefully these two will stay connected, and eventually this will go kaboom. Right dudes, I've seen a fair bit of smoke. It's been about 20 minutes now. I can feel the bag's really warm. I did think it wasn't going to light, but then it got really warm, so I don't think we're going to see the spectacular show that we were going to see, that I thought we might see, should I say, and that's due to the self-extinguishing liner. So obviously it's going to extinguish the flames. I mean, naked flames can touch it and it'll singe it, but it won't set on fire because it's self-extinguishing. So woo. Bloody hell. Right guys, let me just tip this out semi-carefully. Right, I don't think we got full ignition there, but what we have got is it's definitely gone on that, I don't know what cell that is, second, I don't know. Let's check the bag. We've got some singeing on, it's not quite singed, but that's it. Out of there, so we can see. I think that's some plastic stuck to the bottom. Yeah, it is. Ow, shit, that's hot. There is some plastic that's melted to the liner. But as far as test goes, this is obviously a pretty mild test. But it's worked well so far. Bit disappointed that this second lipo didn't go up as well. But I mean, yeah, that one's clearly gone. Ow. That's how. Bloody hell, that stinks. But yeah, I think this needs a little bit more testing. Let's go for round 2 testing, and we'll get a 6S and go from there. Thanks very much for watching, guys.